To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. Well, hello. Let me get the mic. I keep doing this. I keep dragging the mic later. But anyway, hello. How you doing? Hope everybody is well today. We got a few stories that we're going to cover, and one story I'm definitely going to leave for last because, well, hey, I feel like this. You got to be equal. You got to be fair and balanced, and it doesn't matter who it's about. If it is newsworthy, then it's worthy of being the news. So, before we get started into any of that, I want to say hello and welcome. It is Friday. We're doing a few news briefs. And you know, a lot of times I think whenever we do news briefs or whatever, we need to remember something, and that is that we're just here to hang out. You may have already heard some of these stories, but this is where we get it in. We get the information in. We start to talk to one another. We get, what each person or the group of us think together collectively. And with that, I'd like to also let you guys know that down below in the description, this video is available for you to see. Let me take you over there so that you guys can see it. It is here, but we're not going to click it. We're not going to do any of that. This is it. Need you guys to see that. Can y'all see that? Can you see it? It's about 19 people that have seen it already. But this is the topic of the day because this is what's going on. Pretty interesting, right? Let me let it have it all by itself. Let me just give it to you. Yeah. So you guys go over there, please, and check it out. The link is down below in the description. But yeah, just wanted to enlighten you on that topic because I thought that it was pretty amazing exactly where this whole thing is going and where it's headed. And when we keep in mind that they've been planning a lot of stuff for a second, it won't shock us. I don't think it'll shock us. But the first story that I'm going to get into today is dealing with a place that, well, I know I do shop there. I take my grandkids there every now and again. But my favorite of those dollar type places, when I was in California, it was the 99-cent store. It had the little purple little banner. I like that one because you can get all kinds of stuff. But this one is about the Family Dollar. Now, we covered this a while ago, talking about Family Dollar in the fact that they had a rodent issue. Well, according to this story that comes from, it looks like News 12 out there in Memphis. Yeah. And I'm reading this for the first time with you guys. I chose the stories and stuck it in here, except for the last one, because the last story I was like, yikes, ouch. I read it earlier when I became privy to it. So with that, we are going to just get into this story. Now, a lot of us do shop at dollar stores because of the convenience, and we don't want to pay a lot, and maybe we can get some of those same items that we can get at other places there. But this right here hits close to home because it ain't far from me. Family Dollar representative said the company plans to close its West Memphis distribution facility by the end of October. The whole entire facility. Okay? Now, Wednesday's announcement comes months after the U.S. Food and Drug Administration investigation unveiled unsanitary conditions at the facility that included contaminated food. We covered this. Yes, you and me, and we all talked about this right here. Okay? Now, what they also said was that they had contaminated food, cosmetics, and medication with more than 1,000, say it again, 1,000 rats found. WMC reports the investigation shuttered the Family Dollar stores in Alabama. That's true, it did. Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Tennessee for weeks. The distribution facility opened back in 1994 and ships items across the Mid-South. The planned closure will impact 300 employees. But it doesn't just, impact those 300 employees. It also impacts the communities where they are. So this we did cover. We covered it. You guys remember, I know you do. It goes on to say that company representatives said the facility will continue to ship to stores until the end of June. Now, I don't know, but is it just me? Is it just me, or does that seem a bit unique? If you are going to say close it, then why would you let it go on through the end of June unless it isn't as bad as you say? I don't know. We'll see. So they said an inventory transfers to other distribution centers will be completed in August. A Family Dollar spokesperson issued the following statement regarding the closure, and so let's just see what their heartfelt story is. It says, like most companies, we regularly assess our operational footprint to ensure that we are running our business in the most effective and responsible way. As a result of that process, we determined the nearly 30-year-old facility in West Memphis would not be adequate to allow us to continue to serve the needs and the requirements of our stores and customers served by the distribution center. This was a difficult decision we did not take lightly, especially because of our outstanding team in West Memphis, our relationship with the community, and partnership that we have had with the state of Arkansas since 1994. We're committed to treating impacted associates fairly and respectfully, and we are doing everything we can to support them with their transitions, including providing severance plans to those who are eligible. That's a very key point coming from somebody with a background in HR, as well as offering outplacement services and employee assistance programs. Okay? Now, why did I say that little last piece? Because all of them should be available. Because at one point or another, you should be kind to the people that you know are no longer going to have a job. They should all be eligible simply because you are closing them down and letting them go, right? And if you knew back when you had this whole entire situation jumping off a few months ago that there was a strong chance that it needed to remain shuttered, or that after opening it you'd have to shutter it again, then it would have appeared to me that you would have been very ethical and forthcoming with those individuals to say, we are closing. Now, we're going to give everybody severance, but by this date X, and just give them some money and let them go on about their way. Listen, they're getting a write-off on that regardless. They're not going to hit. It's not going to be that heck of a dent. It'll be a dent, but they're still going to be compensated for that. And I think that it's sad because that is a lot of jobs, and there are a lot of people who are going to suffer because of that. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. But here's the deal. I think a lot of this stuff is done, as we keep saying over and over again. How can you have 1,000 rats minimal? Those are the ones you caught. Those aren't the ones that were, recessed someplace or had nested over in a little corner that you couldn't find. They found at least 1,000, which meant the whole entire place was overrun with them. I'd like to know, all those employees, nobody said a word? No, I think that somebody said a word. I do. I think that somebody said a word, and I also think that perhaps there were powers that be that were that were made privy to that. Yeah, I think so. I really do. So we're going to get into another story. I think that's sad. I think it's disgusting. We're going to hope that everybody finds another job that needs one, that they do go on ahead and give everybody severance. Because to me, you wouldn't have hired anybody within the last 90 days because you guys already know you're going to close up unless you're going to hire them with the intention to keep them on a temporary basis until you close down so that you could have that assistance. That makes sense. I could see that. But I would still want to verbalize that to those people. Now, the next story that we're going to look at, because that goes right along with what we've been looking at just recently with all of the recalls and with the baby milk, which I don't even want to talk about the baby milk anymore. It has made me so disturbed that there have been children, they say, that have passed on because of not having it, which to me is just, I'm just amazed. I'm amazed. I do want to read this one. Yeah, I'll go here. All right. And then we are going to look at this together. The gas prices. Gas prices demand. Now, I just want to say I really wish that our country had done what they were supposed to do in the very beginning and maybe give this guy a leash, because he's caused a lot of problems. And a lot of the things that I've seen just recently blame everything but all of the money that we've been giving away. Every single thing that I've read just recently blames everything and everybody except for the fact that we have hurt ourselves. Okay? That the country has hurt itself. Okay? He did that. Sandy Heron. Hey, Deborah Johnson, how are you? Gas in Illinois. Do you guys see what Deborah has there? Gas in Illinois costs $5.39 a gallon. And yet they still will not admit it. They will not admit that they are the reason that this is going on. That's amazing. That's sad, but thank you for that. That's, wow. That's startling. Sandy, hello. Black Spring with Autumn, DG, and everybody else. I'm going to get into saying hey to you guys. Mike, I'm going to get into saying hi to all of y'all and hugging your necks, especially those of you who are just now coming in. Michael John, how have you been? It's great to see you. Michael John says that it's all about the money. Diesel is cheaper to make, but more expensive at the pump. It is really backwards. Oz, hey lady, and hey Amy. I'm glad you got the text. I was like, can you come in here? What are you doing? How do you feel? I don't know which other mods are here that may have gotten a message from me, but hey. So listen, you guys, they're talking about gas prices at the pump. Gas prices all over the place. It says gasoline prices will stop rising once consumer demand destruction kicks in, according to one energy leader. Wow. Quote, it's become really evident that the only thing that is going to alleviate these prices or the price rising is the demand destruction. The CIBC Private Wealth U.S. senior energy trader Rebecca Babin told Yahoo Finance. Gasoline keeps hitting the record highs as the national average hits $4.59 a gallon. Now that's the average, which to Deborah's point, if that's the average, the 459, that means that there are a plethora of places that have it right at the $5 or more mark. And then you've got a few places, maybe they've even thrown some rural areas where they don't necessarily have really close access to maybe highways or something to sort of bring that number down. But I can honestly say it's probably a lot higher. Anyway, it goes on to say that some states are even seeing higher numbers at the pump, $5 or even $6 a gallon, to our point, right? It says, quote, there's a lot of talk around $5 a gallon at the pump as the place where you start to see a consumer shy away, said Babin. I think the indications you saw out of retail this week may be a little bit more telling. It might be a little sooner than that, she added. They're, meaning consumers, starting to change their behaviors. Whoa, I'm mind blown here. The conversation of it all. This week shares of Walmart, or WMT is what it's listed as on the whole thing where you trade stocks or whatever. And Target declined more than 20% after the retail giant's quarterly results reflected a consumer squeeze by inflation and shifting buying patterns. Babin highlights that there's no lack of oil flowing through the system, especially after the U.S. released strategic reserves to help alleviate prices at the pump. Excuse me, those strategic reserves were exactly that. They were strategic reserves. It makes me want to do this to her. Are you kidding? You got to take off the glasses to see her. You want to, what? Those reserves were for our military to keep our country safe. That should have never been tapped in the first place. They should have never been talked about, should have never been touched. It should have been locked behind with a golden key that no one would ever take. The key should have been, they should have locked it, took the key, and hid it from anybody who could pass it to Paw Paw. Because those reserves were never to have been touched. That made me quite upset. And so anyway, she says, especially after the U.S. released strategic reserves to help alleviate prices at the pump, it comes down to this refining capacity that we have, said Babin. We have this massive disconnect between having a lot of crude and not having enough product because we don't have the refining capacity, she said. We have to cut our refining capacity in the United States by about 3 million barrels a day. China has cut refining capacity, and Russia is now somewhat constrained in the market. Diesel prices have also hit record highs this week, touching $5.58 a gallon. And then on Monday, West Texas Intermediate and Brent crude futures inched higher to $112 per barrel. This is a hot rump mess. And the way that it is rationalized, and the way that, look at them, we're training them pretty good. All the people are okay now. We're getting their minds in order. We're getting them checked. Eventually, there's going to be something major that's going to happen with our country, and our country is going to see a lot of people stand up to this stuff. You see, there's a lot of plans standing up that's coming up here in the next couple of months, but I believe that good people like you and like myself are really going to begin to say, hey, listen, this is something we're not going to tolerate. I believe that. I really do. We have 100 folks that are in here right now, and if you all don't mind, please do me a gigantic favor, and please hit the like button. It would help out a lot. Okay, hit the like button, and if you happen to get interrupted with a very short ad, please watch it, because that helps the channel as well. All right, so so that's one. Now another thing that I'd like to talk about is the Michael Sussmann situation. I wanted to really keep it light, but there's some of these stories that I just cannot avoid. Like the one that's over on the other channel that I just showed you guys at the top. I want you guys to make sure that you go down, way, 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 way down below in the description, pull up that link to the other place, and please watch that one, because that took about 15 or 16 minutes to record that story. But the deal is about the story that I want you guys to go check out after here. And please, when you get over there, subscribe too. So that way, when I do go over there more actively, you guys are going to be the first people to get the alerts, because they'll send it to you via email. But I think that with all of the stuff that we're seeing right now, it's a circus. It's really, when I think about, I thought about Bettina the other day, and some of you may remember her as Nancy Morgan Hart. I thought about her the other day, and I was reading some of the stories, and I could just hear her saying she had a mouth on her. But this is a S show. This is just a S show. I could just hear her, and it just reminded me of her, some of the things that are going on. But this right here, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to get into that final story that I really do want to chat about. And listen, I got to tell the story. I have to read the story. It is one of my sponsors, but I got to read the story, because I cannot be partial. If it's out there and it needs to be read about Big Baby, I got to read it. And so I got to be very fair and very forward and very honest, and tell you that the very last story will be about Mike Lindell and my pillow. Okay, with that said, let's go on ahead and get into the next story. Let's share it out. And here we are. Here we go. That's not it. That's not it. That's not how any of this works. That's not the one. That's the last one you had, Soul Sister. Soul Sister number 9, right there. There we go. Now, can you see it? Can you see it? Yes, you can see it. Wow. Okay. Now, the other day, one thing I forgot to tell you guys while we were dealing with the BLM story that kept buffering on all of us. What I forgot to tell you guys was that this particular person, their people that they had working with that group pulled out right during the time where they found out that they had to go public with all of their financials. And I did not say that to you guys the other day. I wanted to make sure that I shared this with you. Yeah, okay. All right. So here we go. All right. Now, former FBI official delivered devastating testimony. All right. You got to know it's devastating. Okay, devastating testimony on Thursday against former Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussmann, saying that he's 100% confident that the defendant denied acting on behalf of any particular client when he handed over since debunked information linking Donald Trump to Russia. Quote, I think it was pretty close to the beginning of the meeting, part of his introduction to the meeting, former FBI General Counsel James Baker told the jurors in Washington, D.C.'s federal court. Baker's account directly supports the sole charge against Sussmann as a result of special counsel John Durham's probe in the alleged lawbreaking in connection with the FBI and Robert Mueller's probe of the purported Trump-Russia ties. Sussmann, 57, we're the same age, is on trial on a single count of lying to the government during September the 10th. Excuse me, that's my birthday. Just a quick little Freudian slip in case you guys don't want to, in case you want to remember. September 19th of 2016. To sit down with Baker. Okay, where's the rest? There you go. According to his indictment, the cybersecurity lawyer was allegedly acting on behalf of the Clinton campaign and Ronnie.d.Mann, a tech executive and a client, who told him about the computer data that was purportedly revealing a secret back channel, not bat, B-A-T, back channel, between Trump's organization server and Russia's Alpha Bank. Quote, he said that he was not appearing before me on behalf of any particular client, Baker recalled. He had information of concern about an apparent surreptitious, I don't know why I can never say this, surreptitious communications channel between Alpha Bank, which he described as being connected to the Kremlin in Russia, and some sort of Trump organization in the United States. Baker testified that he was 100% confident that he said in that meeting. That's what he said in the meeting. Now, Baker said that he probably would have agreed to meet with Sussmann if he knew Sussmann was acting on behalf. He wouldn't have. He just would have left it alone if he knew that they were acting on behalf of Clinton, because there's a whole bunch of other people. But you got this one cat that's going to take the fall, right? Now, it goes on to say that would raise very serious questions, certainly in my mind, about the credibility of the source and the veracity of the information, heightened in my mind whether we were going to be played or pulled into politics, he said. We, quote unquote, were aware of any my Lord, we were aware of and wary of being played. We were aware. This dude don't walk around talking like that. We were aware and wary. We were aware and wary. Child, bye. Anyway, of being played, having the fact of our investigation being the one thing to enable the press to report something flawed or incomplete, close quote. I don't know who wrote it, but they did it. Nonetheless, they say that's what he said. Baker said that the fact that Clinton had been investigated by the FBI over her use of a private email server while as Secretary of State would have also played a factor in his decision. He said, quote, I think I would have said, meet with the case agents. I think I would have said meet with the case agents associated with Hillary Clinton email investigation and meet with mid-year exam folks, he testified. That's a bunch of hooey. Nobody would have done any of that. You knew what you was doing. Baker said Sussmann's assertions which included a text message the night before that said he'd be coming on my own, not on the behalf of a client or a company. Want to help the Bureau led him to treat Sussmann as a confidential FBI source. That decision stymied efforts to compile a complete chain of custody for 2 thumb drives of data that Sussmann gave Baker. FBI agent Scott Hellman testified on Tuesday. Hellman said, quote, I do remember I was frustrated at not being able to ID who had provided these thumb drives to Mr. Baker. He was not willing to tell me. That's what he said. Now, during Thursday's testimony, Baker said Sussmann told him that a reporter was working on a story about the Alpha Bank data and that the threats of news coverage led him to take immediate action. Now, quote, it affected my thinking about the urgency of the matter because I know that if a news organization were to publish something about an alleged surreptitious communication channel, somebody give me another word. I don't want to say surreptitious. Surreptitious. I just walk around saying surreptitious all day long, Your Honor. This is the word I use, surreptitious. Surreptitious communication channel. As soon as the article came out of the communications channel would disappear, Baker told Assistant Special Counsel Andrew D. Philippus. Minutes after the meeting with Sussmann, Baker said he briefed Bill Priestrap, who at one time was the assistant director of the FBI's counterintelligence division, about the Alpha Bank information. Dun, dun, dun! Right there. In a phone call with Priestrap, Baker vouched for Sussmann as a source, describing him as a serious lawyer with a background in cybersecurity who previously worked in the Justice Department. Baker told Priestrap that Sussmann was not acting on behalf of any client, a detail Priestrap recorded in notes that he took during the call and which were displayed in court. Quote, said not doing this for any client, Priestrap wrote, close quote. You know what? This is a waste of a whole bunch of money. This is just a waste of a whole bunch of money. Anyway, let's go on. Baker also alerted other top FBI officials, including Director James Comey, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and Tricia Anderson, a former FBI lawyer who oversaw legal support for its counterterrorism, counterintelligence, and cyber investigations. Anderson took notes of a meeting that she had with Baker, which were also shown in court. Did they get the text messages, and did they ever show the fact that, yeah, a lot of those text messages were destroyed on purpose? And I'm going to have to say allegedly. But yeah, anyway, Anderson took notes. All right, so no specific client. Everybody keeps saying no specific client, she wrote of Sussmann. Isn't that ironic that everybody wrote the same thing, no specific client? Doesn't that sound like somebody said, hey, make sure you tell them that ain't no specific client? All right, during the opening statements Tuesday, the defense contended that Baker's memory of his meeting with Sussmann was now clear as mud, and defense lawyer Sean Berkowitz used his cross-examination of the witness to highlight previous inconsistent statements that he made to investigators, including Durham. Berkowitz confronted Baker with a transcript of a 2019 July interview, during which he told investigators from the Justice Department's Inspector General's office that Sussmann got the Alpha Bank data from some number of people that were his clients. Baker said that he used that language as a shorthand way to describe the people with whom he was connected. When asked if he lied to the investigators, Baker denied doing so. Nope, not me. I had no intention of deceiving the Inspector General in any way, shape, or form, he testified. And another transcript produced by the defense showed Baker telling Durham in July 2020 that he couldn't recall taking any action to conceal Sussmann's identity from other FBI employees. Berkowitz also asked Baker if it was possible that Sussmann mentioned his clients during a 13-minute phone conversation days after a meeting at the FBI headquarters. Baker said that he was about 75% sure that Sussmann did not mention clients on the call. Wow. But couldn't say definitively one way or the other. So there's 25% that's just sort of lingering out there. Really big number. Nothing to be alarmed about. Nah, just 25%. At one point, Berkowitz needled Baker by asking, quote, "It's hard to remember events of a long time ago, isn't it?" Closed quote. "It depends on what you're talking about," Baker answered. The cross examination was scheduled to continue on Friday. This ain't nothing but Peyton Place. This is nothing but Peyton Place. Does anybody remember Peyton Place? Am I dating myself? I may be. Your girl might be dating herself. Peyton Place. That's all this is. The whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle. It is. Now, we're going to go to the final story. But before I get to the final story, in sheer comedic fashion, y'all better buy some pillows with my code, because after this, your girl may not have nothing. Hit that PP. Hit PP. Go to the website and hit PP. Buy all you need. Get it all this weekend, okay? Because the next story is about none other than Mr. Mike Lindell, and it does not look like things are working out in his favor. Not at all, because a judge has recently sanctioned the MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell for a frivolous election lawsuit. Now, I must say this, regardless to how I feel about any of this, I'm going to read it, but I just want to say before I even read it, that a lot of the things that they are saying is not true, and across the board is just amazing. But yeah, here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's see. Sharon C says, if a word is the same by each person, it's scripted. Did you buy some sheets from? Let me tell you something. I really got to be honest. Let me come here a second. Those towels and those sheets are divine. I'm sorry. I'm not jibing y'all. Those sheets are off the chain, and those towels are too. All right. So let's get back to the story. All right. Here you are. All right. So the judge sanctions MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell for frivolous election lawsuit. The U.S. District Judge ordered MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell to pay some of the voting machine company's Smartmatic's court costs and fees, saying in a ruling on Thursday that some of Lindell's claims against Smartmatic fall on the frivolous side of the line. The court agrees with Smartmatic that Lindell has asserted at least some groundless claims. See the some, okay? Y'all know better. Some groundless claims, the U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols wrote in his ruling. In particular, the court concludes that at the very least, Lindell's claim against Smartmatic under the support or advocacy clause falls on the frivolous side of the line. Other claims do too, and as a result, the court orders Lindell and his previous counsel to pay some of the fees and the costs Smartmatic has incurred defending itself and moving for sanctions, he added. Nichols also granted the motions from Smartmatic Dominion voting system and Hamilton Place to dismiss the lawsuits against them. Quote, whatever the judge thinks, that's his opinion, Lindell told Bloomberg in a phone call. Quote, I've got lawyers doing some more important things like removing these machines from every state, close quote. He told the news outlet that he would make a decision over whether he would appeal the ruling later. The Hill has reached out to the attorney for Lindell for a comment, and the development comes as Smartmatic sued Lindell. An ally, they have to always throw this in, an ally of former President Trump, which he is, earlier this year, alleging that MyPillow executive lied about the voting machine company regarding the 2020 elections. Now, Mr. Lindell's message, it says, quote, Mr. Lindell's message was as dangerous as it was factually inaccurate. Mr. Lindell told people that Smartmatic stole the 2020 election. He told people that Smartmatic's election technology, hardware, and software were hacked by China and other foreign countries, according to Smartmatic's lawsuit. He also told people, it continues, that Smartmatic election technology, hardware, and software were developed for the sole purpose of stealing foreign elections. Hold on. Well, wasn't it? All right, sorry, got to keep going. All right, so that's what he said. All right, that's allegedly. It's allegedly okay. That was hey, look, I ain't got Lindell money. I ain't got that kind of cash. All I'm gonna say is, I heard that somewhere, and it wasn't from him and stuff. What had happened was, and he told people that Smartmatic deployed its election technology hardware and software to do just that in the 2020 U.S. elections. I guess this is the judge that says, or Smartmatic says, all lies. That was Smartmatic's close of their quote. Lindell, who also faces a lawsuit from Dominion, sued both companies for defamation, and those cases have both been dismissed. This is all alleged from my standpoint. I know nothing of anything. I'm just reading what's there, and I did give I interjected my opinion, but said that it was allegedly because it came from somewhere else that I had seen it before in the past. Let me get over this and get on over here with y'all, big baby. Let me get back over here with y'all. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. But what I do want to leave with you guys is this, because I want you guys to trottle on over there. The link is down below. I'm going to keep pushing this because I really want you guys to go over there and see this. Because to me, I mean, I'm just chilling talking, but this is where I am. And it is the Lockhart perspective. Okay, there's me. All right. Got 62 folks that hang out with me on a regular. Hey. All right. 62 folks that hang out with your girl on a regular. Hoorah. All right. So you guys go over there because that story is pretty unique. It's pretty unique. And here's what I want to say about it before we get off here. What I want to tell you guys about this story is that it comes from a religious organization. It's like a little paper or whatever. And it's opening up a few amazing conversations. All right? It's opening a few amazing conversations. According to the story, the people who are some of the legal folks are able to give it some people are able to give it some legal thought processes that will allow you to see all sides of the spectrum, as well as, hey, Rachel Van Ziel, thank you, sweetie, for being here. That gives you the opportunity to see it from a lot of different perspectives, from a law standpoint. And once that is introduced in your mind, it opens up an entirely wide or vacant platform of thought. Because now you're able to see this thing and you say, wow, so a lot of the things that were going on for so long, this stuff may have all been done with this in mind. Because if the big mama goes away and it goes down to all the states' rights, then it could definitely, thank you so much for that, Marty Lauderdale, then it could definitely roll to states' rights, but the states would be challenged with such an amazing fight and argument, one that spans across religious grounds. You see, because some of the people are arguing that if we just use one religious standpoint or one religious belief mindset, for example, Christianity, to base the fact of life on, according to what we have here, the alleged people who crossed the Red Sea, and then the other people who have the Kaaba, the box, they, according to their belief systems, they believe that it is a part of their religion to actually have these things done to their body if they choose not to have something. So now do you see the strange bedfellows this whole religious freedom conversation can bring? Yes, it does. It brings some amazing argument to the to the place there. What we got there? Hey, thank you, DG. Thank you. This gonna be the grandson's football money. It's $150 for each of them to go to football clinic this summer, and we down here in Bama, baby, and in Alabama, you know, it's all about that football. Education, of course, but it's all about football. So that's where that's gonna go. Thank you, DG. Thank you. That's the football fund. Where I get that from Monty, having all those different funds. That's the football fund. Yay! So one child already got a 10 bucks on their 150. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, so when we look at the argument that's posed there on that other channel that I had there for you, it does toss some stuff around. It really, really does. It tossed some really heavy conversations down because see, here's what's going to happen. They're all saying, why do we have to use that mindset as far as, as the law of the land, as the lay of the land? Who makes the Christianity the one? Because our belief system says that we can do it up to 17 weeks. That it's not even a person. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you, Deborah. Yay, them babies going to camp this year. Last year it took me a minute to pay for them, but they played. I got pictures. I'll show you guys that they were playing and having a good time. Those babies live with their grandmama. They keep me young, though. They really do. They're 10 and 11, and I love them so much. But anyway, I don't want to be like one of them people that pull out the whole long picture of all the grandkids, just fold out their wallet. And this was when he was 5. And this was when and 1 year at band camp. I don't want to do that. But I do want to thank you for that. So with that in mind, I think what it's going to open up is it's going to open up a can of worms, you guys. This is a Pandora's box that, yes, in my impression, it was definitely caused so that this conversation could be opened. This was definitely caused. Thank you, Deborah Johnson. It was definitely caused to open up this conversation. And while the conversation is yet open, we now see all of the, and then get this, you guys, when you get to that story, there's actual regular clergy that are involved in the argument to say that they should still have the right to do X, Y, Z, and that it should not be, because there's an aiding and abetting piece that's in the Texas law, right? So what they're saying is, hey, you know what? If you scratch this thing, this is part of our ministry. This is what we do. We talk to people who want to go and have these things done. So you're messing up my right to free speech. And as a minister that's licensed, I can't see that being an issue at all, because that shouldn't be my angle. My angle should be to listen. Yes, of course, I am trained to listen. All right. But I'm not going to take that and put it on the back shelf and say, okay, well, go ahead and do you. Well, yeah, you can do you, but you're not going to get my thumbs up on it. Right. So I don't see, but they've got a lot of people who are in the Christian faith that are actually standing up in disagreement with the whole tearing away of Roe. They don't want it torn apart. They want it to stay still. That's what they want. They want it to stay right there. That's what they want. And that is so disheartening to me, especially just looking at everything. It's like, where's the salt? But before we go, I want to thank everybody who joined in this morning. I was interceding at 6 o'clock. And then a few minutes after interceding, I said, oops, I forgot to tell everybody that it's intercession time. So I did my little Charlie Brown dun 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 on the keyboard and said, hey, it's time to intercede. And so I believe that by us interceding constantly like this, it's got to make some dent. It's got to make a dent. It has to make a difference. There has to be a difference, because I can't see us doing that and it not having any difference. Because if my people, y'all already know, I don't want to go running around the house preaching. Hey, we used to shout back in the day. So let me go on ahead and read all of your lovely comments here. I'm going to just say hey to everybody, because before the weekend gets off to a good start, I want to hug your necks by saying hello. Hello. All right, let's see who we got here. Let's start at the top. All right, what we got? I saw Oz, I saw Mike, I saw DG, okay, who gave to the football fund. All right, let's see. Do I have any pictures of the babies in their football uniforms nearby? I don't even think I can show kids on here, right? I don't know. I don't think I can, but anyway. All right, so we had a whole lot of messages here. First, we've got, unless you're gone already, David Bruce, we shouting your name out, baby. We're saying hello. Zeb Johnson, we're saying hello. Of course, hugging the neck of one sister, Deborah Johnson. How you doing, baby? And then we have, Living Missouri's Outdoor. Hey, of course, Sandy Aaron. Of course, William. How are you doing, William Smith? Of course, Amy Duran. Karen Slayton, how are you and how have you been? Zenwin AZ. How's it going? Michael John, you know I love you. How's it going? Marty Lauderdale in the house. We got the mod squad here, the whole mod squad. We've got Mike Guyver. How have you been? And I hope that all is going well with you. I hope that everything is going well with you. Let's see, who else do we have? Okay, looks like, okay, we already said hey to my sister. Black Spring with Autumn. Okay. Michael. Oz, we said hey to. Looks like we just, hey Inger, how you doing? It's good to see you. You're only seeing 19, 19 likes. It's very odd. Thank you, DG. I hope everybody does put it. You say you see you as well. You only see 20. Wow. Sometimes you gotta, let me look on my device and see what I see, because you know they do. Sometimes they're really hard to stick. You guys, do you guys notice that? You'll be sticking. You'll be pushing the button, and then nothing happens. Nothing will happen. You'll be going and going and going, and then nothing will happen. Well, I see 98 on my side. I see 98 on my side because I think when everybody came in, they just went ahead and started hitting it. But do you notice that it sticks when you're trying to hit the like button, and then when you're trying to make a comment, it doesn't take the comment sometimes, or it'll tell you there are 0 comments, and you guys will have been going to town in there, having a good time. Anna, the Nevasaliva, says, please keep my family and friends of YouTuber James Munder in your prayers. He passed away last evening from an auto accident, and he is loved and will be missed. Oh, I'm so sorry. We definitely will. Let me write his name down. Actually, I'm going to pull it up on put it here on a sticky note. Okay. All right, so I got that. I'll put him on there, and I will definitely keep his family lifted up. Okay, James Munder, most assuredly. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, I see we're talking about some gas stuff here. Looks like we have everybody. I think we said hello to everybody thus far. Barry Wood, how are you? I see you. Okay, let's see, where else are we? I went all the way to the top, you guys. And I see Bobby, and I see Sally, and I see Tom. Okay, let's see. Les Mountaineer, how are you? How's it going? Good to see you. Okay, I think that's it, right? I think that's all. Oh, SCDHL3, how you doing? It's good to see you. You guys, Chef Tango, what's going on, Chef Tango? I wonder, are you really a chef? Because I know of another person that has a chef name, and they really are a chef in real life. And I didn't know that. I just thought that that was their name. But they really do cook. And I thought that was awesome. Hey, Baker, Jerry Henry, how are you? Good to see you. If you are still here among us in the chat, we're getting ready to close out. So you guys know I got to hug everybody's name. Avis Swoop, what's been going on? How have you been, Avis Swoop? What it do? Like the colloquialisms, what it do? Hey, Baker, what it do, right? Alrighty. Let's see, Sharon C. Okay, you guys, I think we've said hello to everybody. And again, like I always say, if we did not, Daryl Calhoun, how are you? I see you. If I didn't see you and I didn't say hello, please, you guys, count it to my head, not my heart. Because you know it is hey, there's my brothers. All right, there we go to Mighty Dynamo. Alan Davis and Charlie Sigler. Hey, y'all. How's it going? You guys know how it can be. Natasha, how are you? Well, we just read through it, Natasha. We read through it, sweetie. Were you here with us at the beginning? You may have to go back and replay it. True Helper, it's good to see you. It is good to see Adrian. How are you? Okay, you guys, True Helper, all of you, everybody. Thank you guys who've given to the Children's Football Fund. I sure appreciate you guys. And as soon as they do their practices, I'll go ahead and make a video and put that down as so you guys will see it made for kids. So you guys won't be able to do a lot of stuff. But anyway, I'm doing okay. Felicia, who is this, said, shocked by the news about James Munder. That is so sad. I need to go and check that out. Damien, what's up with you? What's up with you? Yes, the replay, because all of that will be there. Woot it do. Yeah, True Helper. What it do? What it do though? Okay, you guys. So listen, we are definitely going to keep the Munder family in our. We're going to intercede, and we're going to definitely keep them in our prayers, most assuredly. Okay, and that's terrible, terrible to hear. Especially, well, it's a fellow YouTuber and whatnot. So we're definitely going to do that. And I want you guys to remember to treat each other good, love each other while you can. If you see somebody, try to make sure that you're hugging them and loving them as much as you can. They may tick you off because I be getting ticked to some of my family, some of my cheerings. But I will tell you that you only got today. That's all we have. We only have today. Tomorrow's not promised. We just got right now. That's it. That's it. And so we give each other the flowers right now. We hug one another right now. We love one another right now. We talk to each other with compassion as best as we can, because it ain't going to always be that way right now, because that's all we've got. Life is just a vapor. We're just like a little bit of steam that's coming up out of a pot or out of our teacup. It's just a little bit of vapor, just a vapor. And it's what we do here for the kingdom of Yah that matters, and that is showing love and kindness and treating everybody good to the best of your ability. All right, and when you fall or you backslide, get up, try it again. Let's get it together. Let's get it right. Again, I want to thank everybody for viewing the show today. I want to thank all of you guys for going over to the BitChute channel and checking it out over there, as well as subscribing to the Lockhart Perspective on that side. Remember, when you see Headlines with a Voice on that side, I do not have access to it. Neither John or myself. By the way, for those of you who may have heard or known about Gertie, which was Bettina's doggie, while her husband was here last year, he mentioned her dog Gertie. Well, he sent me a message yesterday and said that he and his daughter had to put Gertie down. So now Bettina's doggie has passed away. And listen, I love pets. I love animals. And so I felt it necessary to tell you that, but you guys, I just wanted to say that because I know a lot of you may have remembered when he came to the channel last year, he talked about her dog and how much she loved the pets, her bird Phineas and all of that. Well, he had to put Gertie down yesterday. So keep him lifted up, because that was one of the things that he had left that reminded him most of her. We're coming up on a year, and so to lose Gertie within that same time frame is, it's sad. They've had the dog for a long time. All right. So anyway, you guys, I want you all to remember what we always say on any Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. Until we see each other again, I want you guys to remember to take care of yourselves first and then take care of everybody else. And until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. All right? To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart Perspective. Helping